Hi guys, you're welcome. Um, so I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to draft, cut, and sew a cowl neck dress. Alright, so this pattern, we'll actually be using this pattern. This pattern, we drafted it on I think that's like the last video I posted. We drafted this pattern, so we'll be using this pattern. Well, if you're yet to see the video and you wouldn't want to go check the video out, I will just explain what this basic bodice pattern is. It's a very simple pattern. I think you should check it out on your channel. So these are the fabrics. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but I'm just going to try and see either of it is going to be enough. Anyone that is going to be enough, then we're going to use it for. They're just scrap fabrics, and I don't think they're up to 1 yard. Maybe this one is up to 1 yard, but this is not up to, I don't know. So we're just going to see anyone that work and use anyone for it. So I will just go ahead and explain this pattern. I don't want to start drafting a new pattern because I don't have enough pattern. And if I'm to use this back, because of the markings here, we might be a little bit confused. So it is a very simple basic bodice, and I think you should go and check it out. Thank you so much for joining. So I just hope the view is clear. So this is a basic bodice, obviously, and when you're taking your measurements for your bodies, it is very important that you measure the waist for the front and the back, because your front waist and your back waist are not the same. So that is why you can see that the back is shorter than the front. Okay, so that is why the back is shorter than the front. Now, although if you are making this, I think I'm going to want to use the same length for the back, because there is no zip at the dress, and sorry, the top, and it's not even going to be so fitted. So I think I should just try and draft a new one entirely. I don't know. I just hope this markings here will not confuse anybody. Okay, so let's just do a new one. Should I keep it this way? Okay. Let's go with this way. I will use a marker so that we don't get confused. Okay, so I'll be using my measurements. So when we are done, so we're going to see how it comes out. So I'm just trying to do this for the sake of people that are just joining, that have not seen the tutorial video and you don't want to go check it, and let me just try and do it so you don't get so much confused with the previous pattern. So here now we are going to go ahead and mark. I just hope you can see. I think I can flip the camera. Let me try and flip the camera. Hi Helen, thanks for joining. Let me just try and flip the camera. Okay. Even though I can't be able to see you guys, but you should be able to see the pattern very well. Okay. So I'm just going to draft a new pattern entirely. So just pardon my paper. The other paper there, I'm just trying to manage, or anything for you guys. So I'll just get a new sheet. I'll just get a new sheet. Alright, so we don't get confused from this marking here. So I just got a new pattern. I was hoping to use this pattern for my trouser tutorial I want to film, but it is when I can always get another idea. So I'm going to be drafting on this side. Hopefully you guys can see. If you're just joining, thank you so much for joining me. I'll try as much as I can to always come live and just do a little. So I'll just try to hold my paper down. Sorry, in case I can't see your comments and all of that, I am just the only one here, so I will try my best. Okay. So I'm going to just mark here as my starting points. Let's mark here so I can be able to. So it's always important to mark a starting point when drafting your pattern, so you're very sure that your markings are in a straight line. I always like to do it. So this is more like a pattern drafting, but for this particular style of dress you're making. It's a very simple dress, and hopefully I just pray we're able to, finish up both the sewing as well. Never, if you don't take like this. So for the neck depth, I'm going to be using 3 inches, okay? And for my shoulder, I'll go ahead and use 16 inches. Okay, so for the neck depth, I'll just come down by 3 inches. Remember, this is the front, so you're drafting the front first. And I'll just connect. Okay, now on this shoulder, I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope or slant, and I'll connect from here to here. Okay, so this is now my shoulder slope, and this is my neck for the front. Wow. So after doing this, I'm going to mark from my shoulder to my bust point, which is 11 inches. I'll mark that across. I also mark from my shoulder to my waist. I'll be using 16.5 for my waist. I'll do same here, and then I'll connect the points. So we're going to call this bust line, waist line. Okay, now we need to get our armhole line. How do we get the armhole line? You always bust, I've always said this multiple times, you get it by doing your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5. okay, so whatever you get here is your armhole line. Okay, for you to get your armhole curve, you need to get the armhole line as a guide. All right, and then you extend, that becomes your chest line. So for mine, my bust is 38 divided by 6 plus 1.5. okay, so that is what I'm going to be using for my bust, for my chest line. So that should be around 7 point something. Okay, I'm going to use 7.5. Although for this particular style, it is not so important. That's why I didn't make sure I get the accurate armhole line. It is not so important because we'll not be needing it. We'll just have to put it there as a guide. It is very important. So I'll just extend this one like so. And remember why I marked here on my shoulder, which is 16. I'll also come here and mark the 16 here as well, so that we are sure that this line is on the same line as the shoulder, making us to have a straight line like this. So having done that, this becomes our chest line. So call this chest line. So your chest line is like the line that you get connect, like I just feel like for you to get a chest line, you have to get your armhole line. Alright, so it's like an extension of the armhole line. That's what gives you your chest line. So after getting this, now we need to get our curve. Okay, so the curve we'll be using is, how do you get your armhole curve? Remember, this is armhole line. Armhole line. It is not the armhole yet, okay? It is the armhole line, more like a guide for you to get your armhole curve. Now, for you to get your armhole curve, you just divide your armhole line into two by folding your tape. This is the best way, alright? So you don't make mistake or add. So when you divide it into two, you just come in by half an inch here, and we are going to connect from here to the tip of the shoulder. Alright, now I'm going to input your measurements. My bust divided by 4 is 9.5, and that is what I have. So for you to get your armhole curve, you first of all need to get your armhole line. You come in, get the midpoint, you get your armhole line, get the midpoint of the line, go in by half an inch, connect from the tip of the shoulder to the half an inch, and get your bust circumference divided by 4. Then you curve your armhole. That's how you get your armhole curve. Alright, very easy. So it is always good like this, so you get the correct curve. Okay, so this is what our armhole looks like right now. Now we are going to also put that same. Now I want to add a little ease for my clothes. You know, it doesn't have to be tight. There is no zipper or anything. So just add. You can just add 1 inch or half. Just depends on how you want it to be. So I don't want it to be too, I don't want it to be too loose. So I'm going to add 1 inch, half inch for the ease and half inch for stitching. Okay, so I'm adding my allowance. I'm going to add 1 inch to my measurement, half inch for ease and half inch for my sewing allowance. So I'll go ahead and add 1. So what we have here in total is 10.5. I'll extend that to the bust, right? And then on my waist, I'll take my waist measurement divided by 4 plus the same 1 inch. I think I'll have to take this up. I've not marked the length of the top yet. So I'll have to take this up a little. So my waist is 30. Alright, 30 divided by 4. Let's quickly do that. But I'm not in my calculator. So 30 divided by 4, we have 50. That should be 7.5. Right. 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. Okay, 7.5. There is no doubt on this. You don't need it. 7.5 plus 1 inch. So that is what we have for the waist. Now we are going to mark the length of our top. So the length of the top I'm working with, I don't have much fabric, so I'm trying to manage. So I'll just go with 24. Put 24 here. So I'll just mark. Alright, so after doing that, I would mark my hip measurement. My hip measurement is 40 divided by 4 will give me 10 inches. Now add 1 inch. So I'm just going to connect all the lines together. I don't think I need that hip curve here, so I don't want it. I'll just go ahead and mark like this. And then connect from here to here. So if you're watching my tutorial, you will see how I always say mark the same measurement. That your bust measurement you marked on your chest line, mark it on your bust line. Don't just assume, oh, since I marked it on my chest line, let me leave it on my bust. I'll be shortage. Imagine now I connect from here to here. you're seeing that's about half an inch. So always mark it so you don't have any shortage around here. So this is it for the front. Okay, because I just want here to be a little bit covered, I'll just mark 1 inch here and just snap it. So that is it for the front. We're going to be using the back is very simple. We're going to use, once we're done cutting with the front, we're going to use it to cut the back, so we don't have to start drafting from the back. Now remember that, let me take this closer. Remember that this is a cowl neck and it has like a rope at the back. Okay, so for mine I want to tie a rope. So we are not going, remember I said we're not using this chest line, and the way the dress is more like a halter neck kind of, although I won't be getting to my bust line, alright, because if I take it all the way to my bust line, it's going to be very, very exposed. You can still decide to leave it on your chest line if you don't want anything that will show by the side of your boobs. It all depends on what you want actually, you get. So it all depends on your choice, not me. It just depends on what you want. But for me, I'll just come down on the chest line by just 1 inch. I don't want it to get to the bust point, so I'll just come down by 1 inch. And I want it to be like a halter neck kind of, alright? So because of that, I will just, and because you're going to be having a rope that you're tying at the back, you don't want the rope to be this big, right? It's too big now, so you don't want it to be this much, okay? So for the width of the shoulder I'll be using, I'll be making use of, you can either to make use of 3 inches or maybe 2.5 or 2. It all depends on you. Okay, so I think I will be using 3 inches, or make use of let's use 2.5. Yeah, let's use 2.5. So you're going to connect from here to here. You're going to have to use your curl ruler. Okay. So it all depends on how you want it. If you want it to be revealed a little, just like you have to take in your hand like this. But for me, now if you still want to take it to the chest line, you can as well just do this. It's all on you. But I don't want that. So I want it to be 1 inch below. Some people take theirs to their bust point. Like I always say, it all depends on you. So I'll just go ahead and curl like this. So this is the one. Let me use my marker so you guys don't confuse on the ones I'm using. Okay. So this is the neckline we'll be using for this. So I'll just go ahead and cut out this. Okay, let me just quickly use my marker to just mark all of this so you can see clearly what our pattern looks like. If you're still here to this point, thank you so much for joining and watching. This is my first time coming live, and you guys have been really supportive. I really appreciate you guys. Okay, so this is what we have for the front, and you can see how simple this has been so far. So now we're just going to cut this out, and I will show you guys what next to do. what our pattern looks like. Now we need to create the cowl neck effect. All right. Let me just take away this one first. You need to create the halter neck effect on this first. And how do we do that? Now, the bust line, that's why we'll mark the bust line. That is where we're going to. That's the guide. So we're going to just slant this open. Not entirely, but close to the end. On the bust line. Okay, so you can see what I have here. You can be able to open it. Please don't rip it off. Now we need our pattern again for us to do this. I think this pattern won't be enough for us.